How's it going, everyone? Hope you're all doing very well today. I wanted to take a look at this pretty amazing sadist stiletto run. I haven't really gotten much of a chance to talk about sadist stiletto and how much better it's gotten with the 1.6 new update. So the big change is that now it can do damage to bleeding and poison. So if you have anything that can inflict bleeding or poison, there you go. So open wounds, we have open wounds on this build just because I can get that bleed from the sadist stiletto. I can get that 60% as well. The flame turret gets me a toxic cloud, so that's also really good. Boy's axe is there for the snare. So basically you can throw the boy's axe, an enemy can be immobilized, and you can just start smacking them with the sadist stiletto, get a lot of damage off. And lacerating aura because it's one of the best melee skills in the entire game. Even if you get hit, you can recover pretty much all of your HP just by using the lacerating aura. So this is going to be using a seed that I found on Reddit that basically guarantees a 40 on every run. And after doing 3 or 4 different runs with this seed, yeah, I got 40 on every single one. The person that did it actually got more than 40. He got like 42, 43, 44. But as you can see by my amulets, I didn't really get the best amulets in that run or really in any other run, so I got stuck at 40 the entire time. I'm going to leave a link to that Reddit thread in the description, and I'll leave a link to the guy's YouTube channel because he posts some pretty quality stuff. Leave a like, subscribe for more Dead Cells content. I am so excited for the Bad Seed update. I'm going to post a few more runs before that. So without further ado, enjoy the run, everybody. So I'm going to start off by just showing the skin that I'm using, which is the Bigot skin. But I wanted to talk about what the seed essentially entails. So the seed that we're going to be using is 877362. You can actually change the seed in the custom mode. It doesn't affect any sort of achievements or anything like that, as I get that weird parry off on that elite rampager. So the idea is that I'm going to get more tactics than with brutality by the time I hit promenade. And what that'll allow me to do is get better dual stat scrolls for at least promenade. For me personally, I didn't really get good scrolls or good dual stat scrolls after promenade, but I was able to actually get both of the dual stat scrolls in red in prominence, so that's why I did that. So it's pretty cool in terms of just kind of manipulating the seed manipulation. Just kind of, it's a slight manipulation. It gives me a couple extra stats that I normally wouldn't get, but there's also some pretty cool stuff that happens in this seed regardless. So there's stuff such as extra curse chests, there's extra challenge rips, things like that. So it's really cool. And I'm going to be showing all the extra curse chests, all the challenge rips that I get throughout the course of this run. So the run's going really well so far. The phaser actually gives me extra bleed. So because of the open wounds mutation, I can phaser an enemy, I apply bleed, and the sadist stiletto will knock them out in one hit. I skipped the challenge rip because I want to get to 60 first, and I do get to 60. But now I have to clear out this curse chest. So I think it's about a 10% chance or so in Promenade to get that curse chest. So we're going to be trying to clear this out. And then at the end of the level, we're going to go hit up that challenge rift. In Promenade and Prison Quarters, the challenge rifts don't do too much damage. Even if you're running like a tactics build or something like that, it really doesn't like do that much to you. Starting in Prison Depths is when those challenge rifts do a lot to you. And just the damage in general. The first 2 levels, you really don't take a lot of damage from anything. So I also have this knockback shield just to kind of reiterate the whole me having more tactics thing. Unfortunately, I do have to face this elite bombardier, and I'm going to be trying to just kind of deal with that. But he actually only gets the shield one, which is the best one for the bombardier. So which means that I can just wait and then just keep smacking him until he dies. I play it a little bit carefully here just because I don't want to get accidentally hit by a bomb and then die as a result. But I'm able to get the kill off, and then we can move forward in this level. So one of the biggest things about this seed is, like I said, you get extra scrolls in a lot of different places. But it's also those dual stat scrolls. So I'm going to be picking up 2 red dual stat scrolls during this level. Right now, my run is going relatively decent. I'm taking a lot of kind of bad hits, but for the most part, I'm doing okay. And we actually get this nice challenge rift that we saw earlier. So, and the amulet's also really good. So we're going to leave that on the floor until we get past this. And the reason I do that is just because the one I have right now gives me more health, and I won't take as much damage. Because in Prison Debts, if I take any slight bit of damage, it's a lot of HP that's taken back on me. So I need to be pretty careful when it comes to this challenge rift. Those temporary platforms can be kind of a pain sometimes. So what I like to do is essentially kind of hang out on the wall until I feel safe again. Sometimes having a shield is great to have in the challenge rifts, just because you can parry those little shurikens. But that +3 amulet is going to be really, really nice to have. The +2, excuse me. And this curse is going to be kind of difficult. I throw the grenade right away because I'm very, very scared of these enemies. Just because sometimes before the teleporter, the enemies can appear, and that can serve to be a bit of a nuisance at times. We're going to get the kill off on that Rampager, and then we have 3 enemies down below. So what I'm going to do is kill 2 with the grenade, and then kill the last one. And we have 2 more enemies left. One is going to be this knife thrower, and we're going to stun him, get the kill. And then last, we are going to just use the Boy's Axe on this Masker. Or no, I'm sorry. We're going to use the grenade on the Masker. And then we're going to start just getting kills in everywhere. So now we've cleared the curse. We're doing great so far on damage. So for the first level, like, the damage wasn't so good, but after that challenge rift and the curse chest, we're doing amazing. So we're sitting at 13. No, I'm sorry, we're sitting at 18 right now, because of all the extra stuff we've had. We're gonna get another challenge rift in this level, and because I have that monster's eye, I'm gonna be able to take at least 1 or 2 hits in that challenge rift. The goal is to not take any hits, but it's nice to have healing options if we have it. This elite slasher is going to be difficult, but we should be able to get the kills off. I was trying to aggro the slasher on the left side, but I wasn't able to do it, unfortunately. But we get a very, very quick kill on that slasher. Very happy with that. We move on towards the ossuary, and one thing to note is that in this run, I forgot to take the challenge rift in Promenade. So, or not in Promenade, in in Prison Depths. Later on, I was able to find out, oh, there's another curse chest here, or a challenge rift here, so I can actually take that. But in this run, I unfortunately had not seen it at the time. That's one of the problems with challenge rifts that I have, is that sometimes you just don't see them. There's an elite Thorny. I'm not going to battle that right now. I'm just going to kill the remaining 3 enemies, which is those corpse juices and spawner, and the bombardier and Thorny down below. So we're going to kill the spawner first, wait for the corpse juices to die to poison, and get our remaining kills. And after that, we're going to fight this elite. And it's a double elite, so it's going to be a little bit awkward. I'm able to throw my bomb on them, and then we're able to just finish off the rest of them with the Boy's Axe. So Boy's Axe does a great job, like I said, of just snaring enemies, which is why I'm a big, big advocate of it. We get the second curse chest. So the first curse chest that we got was actually the random curse chest that has like a 10% chance of appearing. But we get the actual curse chest, the 2 boss cell one, and we're going to try to clear this out. We're sitting at 23 right now, which is extremely high for this level. We're going to have a pretty high damage output by the end of it. And so one thing to note is that you guys have already seen the end screen for this run. And something to note with that is that I had 40, and if I had taken that, the challenge rift, I would have actually ended up getting 41. So that was my bad, unfortunately. I might try to do this run again just to try to get the 41 or something like that. You should be able to get at least 41. But it just depends on the amulets that you get and things like that. Like, you need at least a +3 amulet, because after a while, the dual stat scrolls don't really appear the way you want them to. But anyway, so we've cleared out pretty much the entire map. We're just going to move forward and then clear out this curse. We have 1 more enemy left, and so we're going to finish that off, and then we're going to hit up that challenge rift. And like I said, now we're going to be taking much more damage with the challenge rifts. So we just need to make sure that we don't do anything too crazy. I make a mistake and I accidentally take the monster's eye, which would have been nice had I messed up in this challenge rift, but it happens, it's fine. I decide to leave the amulet that I have right now just so I can get more health. Or excuse me, no, I took an amulet that gave me more health. It was +2 red, which I also had earlier, but this one also gave me +1 in tactics, so a little bit more health, not much, but a little bit. Almost get hit there. I'm able to get saved by the spider rune, so got very, very lucky there. But we don't take a hit, we move forward, and I don't have a shield anymore, so I can't really parry things, so I have to be just a little bit extra careful as I kind of go through this. Extra jumps always help in challenge rips, just so you can like time your jump exactly the way you need to. If you're like a pixel off or something like that, it can be a bit of a pain. So it's really nice to be able to just have that extra security. So that's the end of the challenge rip. I don't take a hit in either one. And the one in prison depths, as maybe I'll upload the run that I have later, but it actually ended up just being a really easy one. It was the easiest one out of the 3 that I had. I'm doing a lot of damage on this concierge just right away. He's already going to be kind of going towards me. He's going to do his little slam thingy. I don't know what it's called. Body slam? Like Pokemon move, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, so like I said, we're getting a lot of damage off with this Boy's Axe. If concierge is immobilized, his attack patterns are very, very weird. Like, he'll just kind of charge towards you, but I don't think you take any damage from that. So, I don't know. It's weird. So, we're on to Stilt now. So, the maximum amount of scrolls, I believe, requires going to Stilt. I really need to try it over in Sanctuary, because I don't know. Sanctuary and Caverns. This build is good enough to do well in those biomes anyways, outside of the Ground Shakers, just because you can't hit them from behind. But this is a very strong run right now. Like, I'm at 28 already. And 28, well, now 29, is extremely powerful for this sort of run. Or just any run. And still, like, you usually finish with around 23 to 25 scrolls. So, getting 28 is insane. I had 27 when I started, too. So, it's always really cool. We're just trying to clear out all the enemies before we take on this pirate captain in case I need to move somewhere else. I opt to go with the lacerating aura, and that proves to be the right decision because I get instant kills on both those elites. So right now the run's going extremely well. I'm barely taking any hits. I'm able to just kind of move through and then just kind of do my thing. That was a weird sequence of enemies right there, just with the knife thrower, trying to avoid them and then avoid the kamikazes too. I don't really have a tip on how to do that. You just gotta use your intuition. And I think a lot of it is luck too, because I got pretty lucky on that one. I didn't go for the alchemic carbine because I was tired of using alchemic carbine at that point, because I think I used it in like 4 straight runs, because it's one of the best ranged weapons in the entire game. So I was just like, no, we're not doing that. We're sticking with Boy's Axe. I really do like Boy's Axe a lot. I'm a big fan of it. Oh, we get the 60 right there, and that's really, really good. Get some level 10 weapons if we need to. The goal for Sepulchre is to, 1, clear the curse chest, obviously, but also to get the 60 because we'll get a level 12 weapon by the time we hit Giant, and that's going to be very crucial in terms of just doing a little bit more damage. We pick up our curse chest, and we get another Boy's Axe, but I decided not to go through with it because that didn't have the affixes that I wanted. At this point in the run, I have open wounds, so that gives me bleed synergy. I have toxic synergy with my flame turret, and then I have the lacerating aura that does just additional damage. A lot of additional damage. So we're down to 4 on the curse. I was convinced that there was a knife thrower somewhere, but no, not really the case. We're gonna go towards the key door, unlock the key door, and then from there we're gonna be able to get the rest of the 4 enemies, hoping that we don't get a spike pit. The spike pits are scary, but nope, we don't. Instead we are lucky, and then we get a bunch of kamikazes and then all those good enemies. So kamikazes, like I said, are the best enemies to get on the curse because they go down in 1 hit. Yes, they're scary sometimes, and if you have the wrong sort of build, like a war spear or something like that, which I do have a run of and I may upload, but depending on the run, it can actually be very, very detrimental to have kamikazes, but usually on melee builds, they're very, very nice to have. But quick note about that war spear run. damage output was insane, but it's War Spear, and War Spear's terrible. So you're gonna, if I do upload it, you're gonna see really how bad that run went. But we're able to finish off the curse, get the second key, and at this point in the run, I'm not really getting the amulets that I want. So unfortunately, we just have to kind of make do with what we have. Total first world problem because we're doing a crazy amount of damage. Like, things are going down in like a second. You're going to see with this giant fight exactly what that means. Just because the giant is kind of scary when it comes to melee. But if you have something that does a lot of damage, then it becomes suddenly the easiest fight in the entire game. I actually think, at its best, melee is probably the best in the entire game. Just because you have the open wounds, you have the melee mutation, you have a lot of things. This giant is going to go down extremely quickly. Just lacerating aura doing a lot of damage. I only need to kill the hand twice. And then with the lacerating aura, get the kill off. He died in about, like, what, 20 seconds? If that. So that was pretty freaking awesome. So now we are, again, like, we are doing great on damage. We're going to go towards High Peak Castle because that's going to give us the extra scroll fragments that'll allow us to get another legendary scroll. So we'll get at least 3 red when we get to High Peak Castle. And that's going to be extremely nice. I was thinking about taking the phaser, but I decided, okay, I want the 40. We are on pace to get 40, so let's just do it. And that ended up being the right decision for me because 40 actually does more damage than 39, obviously. But it's an exponential damage, so it actually does more than just 16% on what you might think. That elite is scary, but we get the kill off. We're doing great so far, honestly. And High Peak Castle is going to be pretty difficult just because of the fact that I don't have a shield, and with mobs of enemies, it can be a bit taxing sometimes. So I do have the Boy's Axe that allows me to snare enemies, so that's also really nice. But like I said, with the Royal Guards running around, like, I have to essentially just be very, very careful in how I decide to approach High Peak Castle. Because I have died once, like, especially this mob, when it's a Lancer, a Rampager, and a Bombardier all in one. That can be a bit challenging, but because I have the aura, it actually ends up working out just fine for me. So with the Royal Guard, I'm just using my Boy's Axe. No harm, no foul. I can use everything. I can use my sadist stiletto on pretty much everything else, but the Boy's Axe is doing enough damage at this point. And these elites are going down so quickly, and that was 60 right there, so that was really nice. I could have taken the throwing knife, but I figured, again, I don't feel like taking throwing knife. The Boy's Axe is doing everything that I need to do. The Royal Guard actually aggroes me, and I'm able to escape that. And then I can just kill the demon, and then from there, I'm actually not really going to use my sadist stiletto on the Thorny, just use my Boy's Axe, get the kill. There's a crap ton of synergy right now, so I'm okay. And this demon's actually going to aggro me, and when demons aggro you like that, sometimes they're up in the air, and that can be a little bit scary, because you don't really have the range to kill them. So you just have to be a little bit careful when dealing with demons. They're not that bad overall, but if they are going to aggro you, then you need to really be careful. But we're able to get the kill on the demon, and then we're going to get the kill on the Rampager very quickly. You know, unfortunately, we don't get any +3 amulets. We don't get any really good amulets in general. The +2 red is nice. It's just, it's not what you want later on in the run, because you only get 10%, and then if you're only getting +1 in red, like, you don't want to take down your damage just because some of the affixes might be a little bit better. At least that's just the way I look at it. But anyways, you're going to see this Hand of the King fight. It's going to be absolutely just nuts. Within 2 attacks, he's already flying up, and I'm just doing just an unseen amount of damage. Sadist Stiletto went from really good to unbelievable in a span of 1 update. It is, I think it's overtaken the Oil Sword as the best melee weapon in the game. I'm just going to call it right now. After this run, like, yeah, okay, part of it is that I have 40 on the run, but the other part is that I am doing the amount of damage that I'm doing. Oil Sword will get a lot of damage, but the strikes are slower. So I think the Sadist Stiletto has overtaken it. But I mean, it's like 1A, 1B sort of thing. That's kind of how I look at it. But yeah, like just, and you're gonna see in this last fight that I'm gonna have against the Collector as well, like just how much it does. Like even these elites are going down in a matter of seconds. I can just fight everything straight up. I don't need to be sneaky and use a Boy's Axe on things. Like I can just fight everything I want straight up. This is actually an easier level than High Peak Castle because the mobs are a little bit friendlier. Outside of course, the librarians and magistrates running around. That can be a bit of an issue. But besides that, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. The magistrate is kind of being relentless with shooting the little things at me, so I decided, okay, let's just use the head. I try not to do that as much anymore, not because I think it's like cheap or anything like that, just because like it's just not as exciting and it's kind of boring, and I kind of want to do these runs faster and faster and faster. But yeah, like I really do recommend running this sort of build, just like an open wound Sadist Stiletto with 60% to bleed. That alone is what gets you all the damage you need. That was a little scary right there because the librarian was being guarded by the defender, so I just have to make sure that I didn't get hit at all. But this last fight, you're gonna see how insane this damage is. I already have him at 1 heal after he's done rolling. Already on 1 heal, and he's only done 1 attack, which means I can do more. And I have him locked up on that corner. Now he's on 2 heals. I dropped my flame turret, and then now he's going to be on 3 heals, which means that he skips the phase where he drops all the enemies at you. And now he's just going to simply just drop the Panacea because I have him low enough. And I'm just going to drop my flame turret and then pick up the Panacea, heal, and 2 strikes, and then he's done. That was barely 30 seconds. It was like 30 to 35 seconds. Just absolutely insane amount of damage. Concierge was the longest boss fight, and that's only because he does the Raw and the Aura. But Giant went down in around 20 seconds. Hand of the King went down in around 20 to 30 seconds, and this boss went down in 30 to 35 seconds. So just a lot of damage. And the 40 is also really, really helpful. For sure it's helpful. But I think these fights would have gone by extremely quickly, even if I had like 35 or 36, just because of the amount of synergy I had. Like, think about it. I had burn synergy, toxic synergy, and bleed synergy, all within the same build. So, and the lacerating aura also does like that chip damage that's necessary. It stacks up with the poison and the bleed. That's why that Sadist Stiletto does so much, because I get the toxic synergy from the the flame turret. I get bleed synergy because I'm just hitting him, so open wounds. And the lacerating aura has both bleed, burn, and poison synergy. So I get all of it on that, so I'm able to just get so much damage up so quickly. So that, I really do love the run. I'll try the seed out if you want. Like I said, I'm going to leave a link to that Reddit discussion and the guy's YouTube channel in my description. So definitely check those out if you have the chance to. And I gotta say, the game's probably going to be changing a lot with the bad seed. This is the best game I think I've ever played in my entire life. It's so fun. There's so many different ways that you can win. There's so many different ways that you can lose too. There's so many different weapon combinations, skills combinations, and I'm so excited to see how Bad Seed is going to implement a lot of different changes. If you've seen the trailers, then you know that the Bad Seed is going to be something pretty crazy. So I'm going to try to upload it as soon as I can. It comes out next Tuesday. I have work and class. I'm basically booked from 10 o'clock up until 8 o'clock. So that's my entire day. It's a 10-hour day. So I'm going to try to get as much done as I can in the nighttime or in the morning if I wake up. So keep an eye out for that. I'll try to upload 1 or 2 more runs before then. I do have a couple things I want to share with you guys, like that War Spear run. I may upload. There's an Electric Whip run that I think is really good. But yeah, thank you all again for joining me. Again, it means a lot that you guys are spending your free time watching my content. Leave a like and subscribe for more Dead Cells content. And have a great night, everybody.